Midco Sports tonight, a couple of big wins and a couple of disappointing losses. We'll get you all caught up on our FCS teams and their highlights. Then hear from UND after their highly anticipated clash with the Gophers. Brad Berry gives us his take on the weekend series. And finally, we'll bring you some news out of Fargo with a new NDSU volleyball coach. All of that plus much more, Midco Sports Tonight kicks off right now. Hello and happy Monday, everyone. I'm Kelly Stewart, and this is Midco Sports Tonight. Well, we just wrapped up Week 7 already of the FCS season with both of our South Dakota teams on the road for Valley play. Tom Neiman and Jay Elson were traveling with SDSU and USD, who had two very different outcomes on Saturday. So without further ado, let's look at the highlights. Starting with SDSU, John Stiglmeyer and the Jackrabbits looking to get back on the winning track after a Hobo Day loss to Northern Iowa. In Springfield, Missouri to take on Missouri State, and Cade Johnson, redshirt freshman, with his first big play of the day, gets to the left sideline, 61 yards to the Missouri State 22, and 5 plays later, Mikey Daniel caps it off, his first touchdown run of the day. Jack's on the board first. Jack's next drive, first play, Brady Mangarelli, his longest touchdown run of the year, and check out this cut at the 25. He goes 57 yards, and SDSU leads 13-3, 5 minutes into the game. Now, we've talked on this show the most dangerous return man in the Missouri Valley Conference, that being Dion Holloman for Missouri State. Well, here he is. Part of this is a great run, part of it is missed tackles, but most of it is Holloman being slippery and fast. This is his third punt return touchdown of his career. Just a very talented player. Jack's come back though. Taryn Christian goes to one of his favorite targets, Jake Winicky. Good for 44 yards, avoids some tackles, but the Jacks averaged 23 yards per completion in this game. They get another Mikey Daniel touchdown. They lead 20-10 after one quarter, but first play of the second quarter. Another big play for Missouri State. Jason Randall up the middle to the outside, 68 yards for the touchdown. But the Jacks' next drive, Cade Johnson does it again, rolls down the boundary and then cuts it back inside. Christian gets credit for a 68-yard touchdown pass, but Johnson takes it inside the 10-yard line. Jacks score to go back up 27-17. Missouri State would score again, but the Jacks return the favor. Great catch by Dallas Goddard over the middle, and that sets up another play by guess who? Cade Johnson takes the short pass and takes it in. Jackrabbits lead 34-27 at the half, and they blow it open in the second half. They stop Missouri State on fourth down, and then Christian to Goddard. That would lead to another short touchdown run by Mikey Daniel right here. 4 touchdowns in the game for Daniel. He has 7 on the season. But 2 more big plays by the Jacks. Dallas Goddard makes this catch at the 35, gets a great block downfield from Cade Johnson. He was everywhere. Goddard with 8 catches for 170 yards and his 3rd touchdown of the year. Jacks lead 48-27 after 3 quarters. They run the option early in the 4th, pitch to Mangarelli, for he goes 117 yards on the day and 2 touchdowns for the game. Taking a look at the board, 62-30 South Dakota State. Jackrabbits with 591 total yards and the most points ever in a Missouri Valley Conference game. They get 19 tackles from Christian Roseboom and hold Missouri State to just a field goal in the second half. The Jacks are 5-2, 2-2 in the Valley, and play at Western Illinois up next. Well, to Normal, Illinois for our next one. 4th-ranked South Dakota looking to stay perfect against Brock Spack and Illinois State. The Redbirds strike first. Jake Colby hits Spencer Schnell over the middle, and he does the rest. Schnell streaks 64 yards for the first of his 2 touchdowns. He finished with 7 catches for 191 yards. Later in the first now, USD on the move, but Alec Coker, yes, for the Redbirds, picks off Chris Strevler. This ended a streak of 230 consecutive attempts without a pick for the Coyotes QB, 14-0 Illinois State after 1. South Dakota would work its way back into the game in the second. Strevler avoided the pressure and delivers it to Brett Sampson, 50 yards. That's his first career touchdown, and it's 14-7. Yotes even it up on their next possession. Strevler to another tight end, Aaron Ramsey, hauls it in for a 1-yard score, and it's all square at 14 apiece. Now, third quarter, Redbirds up 17-14 and counting. Huge hole for James Robinson. Takes it in from 14 yards out, and it's 24-14 Illinois State after 3. But the Coyotes wouldn't back down. Fourth quarter, Kai Henry caps an 11-play, 74-yard drive with his 5th rushing touchdown of the season. USD back within 3 at this point, but that's as close as they would get. Robinson and the Redbirds salt it away right here. This ends up being 87 yards for the touchdown run. All about the big plays on Saturday. Robinson ran for a career best 193 yards on 19 carries. Now altogether, Illinois State piled up 331 yards on the ground, far and away the most that South Dakota allowed this season. And the Redbirds hand the Coyotes their first loss of the season, 37-21. All that despite a superhuman effort from Chris Strevler. He set program records for completions and attempts in throwing for a career high 440 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions.
I told our guys briefly after the game that's the way they're going to be the rest of the way out. I mean, every game's going to be a battle. You're going to have to be on top of the game, and you're going to have to play close to best. And today we did some things that we hadn't done all year, and it cost us a football game.
We got to put this in the rearview mirror and keep moving forward, because everything we want is still on the table. We're still in the thick of things from Mo Valley, and obviously we want to win out, and it's all in front of us. We just got to take it.
You can't let the snowball. We got to. Whether it's a win or a lose, it's a 24-hour rule. You come back, you flush it, and you start new the next week. So we got to start preparing for Southern, and it's going to be a tough game. They're a good team. They beat Illinois State. And like we say, every single game in the Missouri Valley is a battle. So, upset, mad, frustrated about this. We'll watch the film tomorrow, and we'll learn from it. We'll flush it, and we'll come have a great week of practice.
When we come back, highlights from the weekend's FCS action in North Dakota. You're watching Midco Sports Tonight.